Okay, this is the ZeroBS CRM webinar. So today we're looking at the sales dashboard extension. So this is looking at the CRM. So this is the CRM dashboard. And what we have here is an extension masterclass, just having a quick overview of the sales dashboard extension and why you may want to use it alongside your CRM and the CRM data. So it won't be a very long webinar today. So again, if there's any questions as I'm going through, just shout them out and I'll answer them. So yeah, if you say where you're attending from again, and I can help answer any questions. It's, as I was saying, it won't be a very long webinar. There's not a great deal of areas to cover in this one today. It's just showing a little bit about what some of the different charts mean and why you may want to be interested in them for your CRM. And I can see Alessandro's online, so hi Alessandro. So we'll just get started. So again, this will be what you're used to with the CRM. So this is your normal dashboard. So this is your CRM dashboard. And in here, this is set up with some dummy data. And one of our extensions is the sales dashboard extension. So when you look at the extensions page, this will give you the extensions available. And today I'm having a quick overview of sales dashboard. So this extension. So you can see it's installed. And if you want to view the documentation, you can just follow through the link to the docs. And it'll give you a bit of information there about the sales dashboard. So there's not any setup for this extension. It just runs from your contact list and your transactions. So if you're running an online store, for example, then it's useful to be able to see some various stats about your transactions. Even if you're just manually doing invoices and then people are paying for them online, again, it can give you a bit of insight of how you're doing compared to other periods. So again, as usual, if you've got a question as I'm going through it, just pop it in the questions tab. But it should be a pretty quick whistle-stop tour. So the sales dashboard, once you've activated it, it sits here under Tools. So Tools and Sales Dashboard. So any other extensions that you may have installed will also show up on here. So for example, Mail Campaigns, Client Portal Pro, and the Invoice Itemizer. So if you're running some of the others, as well as automations. So the sales dashboard, you can visit it through there. And it's just an alternate view of a bit more information about your CRM. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different charts that this shows at a glance. So it'll give you your gross revenue, your net revenue, any discounts. If you're applying discounts, you can sort of see how they've been having an impact. So say you run a promotion over a period and you're giving people a discount, then you can actually see then actually has your gross revenue increased compared to previous. So have you had more sales on the back of your discounts? But then what about your net revenue? So if you're offering a 50% discount, you'd have to sell more than twice as usual to make more net revenue. So it just gives you a little bit of an overview of 3 different areas. So gross revenue, it's just your total revenue. So if your product's $200 and you offer a 50% discount, then your net revenue is 100. But then you might have some fees coming off that as well. So like processing fees there. So you can sort of see of what's been going on, your net revenue, your gross revenue, your fees, any discounts, what your average revenue is per contact in your CRM. So, and then how many contacts you're adding. So are you adding more contacts to your CRM this period versus last period? How are you doing with refunds? So are you doing a lot of refunding? So is there something you need to be looking at there? And just general total contacts over time. So how much are you growing month by month? And then finally, if you're running something like a subscription business, then failed payments will give you an idea then of how many people are trying to either renew and the things are failing. So it just gives you a way of saying, actually, I may need to go and look at the renewal process. So it just gives you this is the high-level overview of each chart, and it runs straight from your CRM data. So say you've got a new contact, so you see here that there's been a new lead added, and each of these things you can then click through into the contact. So if you're adding a new contact, so I'll just add a new one quickly now. So lead, again, Mr. Marcuson. Again, just making up emails. So you save that person. So you've added a new lead, and then in the sales dashboard where we were a moment ago, you can see that he's there. Marcus Marcuson is a new lead, and then if a transaction came in for Marcus, so again, so it's come in, it was for $500, new product A, it was Marcus. So if you're selling through, for example, WooCommerce or other systems, then this will automatically come in on the back of like WooSync if you're running WooSync. But if you're just manually taking charges, again, it is reflected on the sales dashboard. So again, you can see Marcus there, and then there's been a new product sold as well. So new products A, and then everything will reflect that in your dashboards. So that's the overview of the sales dashboard. And then some of the charts, so for example, the gross revenue, you see you can click into it and see a little bit more information. So once you click into gross revenue, this loads you a bit more information about the transactions in your CRM. So this is broken down by month. So all the way back into your first transaction. So again, on the transactions list, all the way back to the very first one. So you see here that we've got the very first transaction should have been November 2017. Yep, so a lot of these are showing up as refunded. So they won't be shown in the gross, but they will be shown in some refunded areas there. So you see that refund, it breaks it down per type of transaction. So if you've got new customers, then that's blue. Existing customers is the green, and then like any refunds or failed charges that's been going on in the CRM. So it's a good way of seeing effectively how good are you at selling more to existing customers. So if all your chart is blue, then you're not really making any new revenue from existing customers. So that you've got like one-time purchases. Whereas if you're utilizing the CRM and you send like a very targeted sales campaign to a particular class of contact, and then they all purchase on the back of that, then that will show up as green. So it's like a second purchase from that person. So it just gives you a way of seeing like how effective are you being at selling more to existing customers. So there really isn't too much more to it. Each of the charts on the sales dashboard, you can display it over different periods. So you could say actually my last full month, so in January the 1st to January to the end of January, we're slightly down versus December. So and it does it over the same period. So there's 31 days in January, so it'll do it over the past 31 days. So it won't be January compared to like a 30-day November. So if we look on December again, you'll see here that once it's loaded, it's again 31 days in December, and comparing it to November, there's only 30 days in November, it'll still look at 31 days ago. So you can look at things various periods. So you can look at the last 3 months. So how was your last quarter been? And it will then again compare it to the quarter before. And then you can look at the last 6 months. So these are all just ways of seeing like how is your business growing compared to the prior period. So over the last year, so 2018 versus 2017, then it'll show you the various different bits of information, and all of the charts will show the same type of pictures. So it'll compare it to the prior period, and you can even do custom ranges. So all of these dates you can just mess around with, and so if you just want to look at the last week, you can do that. So you can look at the last week, and you see again it compares it to 7 days ago. This is the difference. So if you run a campaign, you can see whether it's making any differences over the periods. Okay, so Alessandro's asked, it's easy to understand. I wanted to see if there was a way I could convert this dashboard into something I could use for donations. Okay, yes. So if you wanted to do this for donations, again, it's just your transactions. So we've got a number of integrations here around. So your transactions, if you have a donation, that's just a type of transaction. So and you can do the same sort of thing. So you can see how you're doing donation-wise. What we'll be doing as part of version 3 of the CRM is we'll be giving ways to add additional filters. So you can look at effectively like donation performance. So if you have a certain campaign, so if all of your donations have the same title, so if it's all for, I'm trying to think of an example. So if it's all for cleaning up the beach in Bali, and you have a campaign for that, and you're getting donations for that particular cause, then as long as you've got like a specific title, you'll be able to see, actually, let's have a look at how that campaign's doing and how are other campaigns. So there's more coming in version 3 to give you a little bit more reporting around the new data. So anything in here, so if you look at the transactions here in my list, then you might want to look at like everything, how a French pastry is doing, for example. So anything that's got an item title. So if your donations are being logged with the correct title, you could do that and then see those types of things in the CRM. And the same with transaction tags. So if you are using transaction tags, that's another thing you can start looking at. But that will be coming in the next version. So hopefully it does help cover so how you would use that with donations and other types of transactions. So it's just an overview, and you can sort of see how you're getting along versus prior periods. And it keeps itself up to date. So yeah, so the dividing by campaign names, as long as you're tagging a transaction by that campaign name, either the transaction or the contact as well. So it's whether we'll start looking at all the filters that you can do on contacts, whether you can then filter down this sales dashboard based on that. So say you've got CRM team members and you're assigning certain team members to certain contacts, and if that contact's making various sales because of that person that's dealing with them, then you might want to say, actually, let's have a look at the sales dashboard performance for Woody, who works in the team, or let's have a look for Mike, or let's have a look at Richard's. So there's sort of different ways that we can add new filters to this. So I think that's all there is to it. It's quite a straightforward extension. It's just reporting. So again, like any of the extensions, if there's any feature requests that you're not seeing in there, or that you think actually it'd be really useful if it could do this, then just submit them to the usual channels. So if you submit them via the knowledge base, so there's a request a feature page, which will then just send you to our submit a ticket page. So if you've got any feature requests for any of the extensions like Sales Dashboard, so if it's not doing something that you want it to do, then just submit it via the support box. So I'll quickly share the link to that. So like any extensions, so I'll send this now to the channel. This again shows you, this is what you want to do. Request new features. If, for example, you wanted to do it by a certain, so we've got date ranges already in there, but if there's other things that you want it to do, just let us know. And I think that's everything. So as always, these webinars will be up on our YouTube channel. So if you like the look of any of the other upcoming webinars, then feel free to sign up. So the ones that are coming up in the next few weeks, so we've got, so let me share the link to that. So I'm sure you've seen it if you signed up for this. So again. So our upcoming classes. In fact, I'll bring it up on the screen. Using sending a link. Yeah, so the ones we've got coming up. So today we've been looking at sales dashboard. So if you're interested in your stats, that's what you'd use it. So next week we're looking at automations, and the following week we're looking again at mail campaigns version 2. And then on Tuesdays we generally cover just the bigger, wider CRM tour. So we'll be picking different extensions as we go along. So sales dashboard is a quick one. Automations again shouldn't take too long. Mail campaigns is quite a lot of things you can do with that extension. And so again, if the ones you want to do but you don't think you can make it, then make sure you subscribe to YouTube. So our YouTube channel is, I'll send a link to it. So if you're not already part of the YouTube channel, do subscribe, because then you don't feel like you have to attend, and we put them all up there anyway. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, then make sure you do, because on the back of that we upload all of these webinars, and if you miss one you can go and watch it. And if you want to see any of the ones we did previously, then they're all on there already. So there we go, that's everything I wanted to cover. So unless there's any more questions, I'll let you get back to doing what you're doing. Okay, thank you, and hopefully see you soon.